Rough night, Admiral? Yeah, it's tough running everything around here. Yeah, I know. That's why you put the commander in charge of everything so you can harass Nergigante all day. We've been thinking about staging an intervention for that, honestly. If only for the Nergigante population, if not for you. How dare you! Following researching and fighting, Nergigante is very therapeutic and relaxing. It helps me sleep. I've been having trouble with that lately. Oh, why didn't you say so? I think I know a monster that sings a beautiful song that could help with that. Singing, while humans do it for stress relief and emotional expression, among other reasons. Many members of the animal kingdom use song for a number of reasons. While it's mostly for mating purposes, like birds, some species of monkeys, and even walruses, some use it for communication among their community, mark their territory, or alert their brethren of danger. And, of course, many monsters are known to do this as well. Most notably, our topic of today's discussion. Its voice is one of the most melodious sounds any monster has to offer, but falling for the song of a somnacanth is how one hears their final lullaby. Bizarre yet uniquely beautiful, Somnacanth is almost the spitting image of a traditional Japanese mermaid yokai. It has a long, slender body covered in yellow scales on its back and white on its underside, and on its long, serpent-like tail and arms are sail-like purple fins, the tail also having crescent-shaped fins at the top of the tail. Meanwhile, on its front feet are 3 long, black, curved claws, which likely help it to keep its grip on the slippery rocks on its preferred terrain, while its back feet have 4 shorter claws. However, there's a reason I said this looks like a Japanese mermaid, because instead of the human upper body on the fish lower body, Somnacanth has a very much fishy body, on top of which a head with a disturbingly human-like face, albeit a scaly one. And it also possesses a pair of long purple horns above its eyes, a pair of knob-like protrusions in front of those, and 3 pairs of small purple fins on the sides of its head. But on top of its head is a long crest-like fin that can be folded down to look like long flowing hair. Found anywhere with a nice mix of land and water, it is most at home in the Frost Island, but it's just as comfortable living in the more humid and muggy flooded forest, and even the scorching heat of the lava caverns. But one constant across all locations is that it is highly territorial and aggressive, refusing to tolerate any intruders in its territory, especially if that intruder is Acnasom, as its fire threatens to dry it out. But when it's not threatening to destroy any intruders in its turf, Somnacanth is actually surprisingly adorable, often seen swimming backwards while floating on its back like an otter.
With a dark side.
And the creature has one more charming trait, its singing voice. Many have reported hearing a beautiful melody in the locations frequented by this leviathan, hence its title of the soporific siren. Interestingly enough, its song even changes depending on the locale it's in, which we humans have even designated as the official songs of the locale. However, seeking to be an audience member of this concert is one of the worst ideas you can have, as Somnacanth uses these songs to lure in prey and send them to their eternal rest. That'll make sense later. So, how will Somnacanth send you to that eternal rest I just mentioned? Well, it has a few standard moves one might expect, slip and sliding across the ground to crash into you or slash you with lunging claw swipes, and it can even elegantly leap and twist high into the air like a dolphin before crashing down on you. However, the rest of its moveset is something no one would expect. First of all, it can rise up onto its tail like a kangaroo, keeping its head out of the attack range of most weapons. And from there, it can flop onto you with the hardened pad on its belly, or whip its hair back and forth to slap you with its giant head fin. And speaking of its head fin, it actually contains quills on it, similar to Tobi Kadachi or Nargacuga, and just like them, it can launch those quills at you as projectiles. So by now, you've probably put together that I've mentioned Somnacanth putting you to sleep several times up to this point, and surely thought there was a reason for it. And that reason is that Somnacanth has several bioluminescent patches on its body, around its eyes, throat, and the base of its tail that produce a blue sleep-inducing powder, which Somnacanth can release from its throat, either in small clouds while swimming around on its back to litter across the arena, release in streams with impressive range, sometimes while turning in a nearly 180 sweeping attack, or if it can charge up for long enough, it will unleash a ring of this sleep powder that massively expands, making it nearly impossible to dodge without the help of wire bugs to launch over it. But Somnacanth has one more little trick up its sleeve. As I said earlier, it has a hardened pad on its stomach with a pattern that resembles a taiko drum. And while it's swimming on its back like an otter, it can find shells in the water and crack them on its belly, also like an otter.
With a dark side.
It's adorable, but also potentially very bad for you, as there's 3 versions of shells Somnacanth can find, and 2 of them are detrimental for your health. Yellow shells will release a blinding flash of light like Bishatin's flash fruit, then red shells unleash quite sizable explosions, which Somnacanth can shrug off like nothing, but you won't be so lucky. However, that 3rd shell can be useful. Green shells can unleash a green mist that has rejuvenating properties for both you and Somnacanth, so it's like drinking a potion. So, how do you pull an Uno reverse card and put Somnacanth to sleep? Well, Thunder is your best bet, with Fire being a good secondary option. As one might expect, Water and Ice do nothing against it, and Dragon is also shockingly ineffective. All statuses are also decently effective against it, except for Sleep, as one might guess, with Blast being the most effective. And despite what I said about Water and Ice not working, all forms of Blight work on it, with Thunder Blight unsurprisingly being the greatest option. As for its moveset, its winding, twirling motions may be elegant and catch you by surprise the first time, but they also telegraph the attack, giving you time to get out of the way. And when it picks up the yellow flash shell in particular, the flash strangely goes in a slender cone shape directly in front of it, so just move off to the side before he cracks it open. As for its sleep moves, use wire bugs to launch over the clouds and out of the way. As for the armor, it has to be one of the most stylish sets in all of Kimura. A noticeable Arabian inspiration, the male armor gives off the vibe of an assassin, the spikes giving a great intimidation factor, and the bioluminescent blue adding stunning highlights to the ensemble. As for the female armor, it still has the assassin vibe, but also with the hint of a belly dancer aesthetic to it. And the weapons are equally impressive, as well as intimidating. Most made of the Somnacanth fins, but they also have a menacing claw-like look to them. And as always, the armor is also incredible for our companions. The Palico armor looking like a mage, and the Palamute armor having an elegant edge to it with the long bits of flowing fins from Somnacanth. So that is Somnacanth, a unique and fascinating Leviathan with a truly hypnotizing, melodious voice. Its aggression and territorial nature might be somewhat concerning, but it's also relatively relatively easy to handle, the same threat level as Tobi Kadachi, middle of the food chain at best. Just respect and observe from a safe distance and listen to the dulcet tones it produces. Just be careful not to fall asleep, you'll still be in a locale filled with monsters and other hazards. However, we are not finished with this sonorous leviathan, as there is a subspecies, the seductive siren, Aurora Somnacanth. Fitting with its chilling name, Aurora Somnacanth has an icy appearance. Its scales are mostly white, with notes of gray, and some would even say pale yellow, while its claws, horns, and fins are an icy blue color that transitions to a snowy white towards the end, with a bit of a purple gradient to them. And like its sleep-inducing sister species, it has the bioluminescent vents on its throat, base of the tail, and patches near its eyes. However, instead of the beautiful, alluring light blue, Aurora Somnacanth emits a chilling, almost haunting white mist from these vents. Much like its counterpart, it is found in locations where there's an equal amount of water and land. But unlike its sister species, it actually prefers to spend more of its time out of the water and on land, as well as sticking to only the coldest of locales, those being the Frost Island and the icy region of the Citadel. As for its behavior, it is again similar to the original Somnacanth, being highly territorial and aggressive to any intruders, especially if that intruder is Acnosom. It hates that bird even more than the original does, because its fire disrupts the cold air around Aurora Somnacanth. So it puts its full effort into taking down or driving off the bird wyvern. And like the original, it uses its song to lure in small prey like Izuchi, before breathing a freezing mist to slow them down and wear down their stamina to freeze them to death, then drags them away to a secluded location to eat in peace. So, does the Aurora Somnacanth bring anything different to the table than its counterpart? Yes, it most certainly does. Its physical attacks are a bit more of the same. The charges, the claw swipes, belly flops, twisty jumping slams, and flings quills when it whips its hair back and forth. But that's where the similarities end. Instead of sleep gas, Aurora Somnacanth has a cryosac that lets it unleash freezing clouds of icy mist. It can do this in beams of ice like the original, including sweeping beams, but it also mixes this with a more up-close and personal approach, unleashing mist around its body to deter anyone from getting too close to it, or it can charge forward and unleash an explosive blast of icy mist, or an even bigger one with a jumping slam. And it's also been known to freeze the ground, to slide along the ground faster while its target is slowed by slippery ice. But its ultimate attack comes when it moves in circles around the area, then rises onto its tail and starts singing. At which point, clouds of icy mist will start to accumulate from small ambient amounts of mist it breathed out along its path, and once they've condensed enough, it will begin detonating intermittently in massive explosions of icy mist, doing incredible damage. So how do you get this Leviathan to chill? Well, this time fire is your strongest option, while thunder is the backup bet, with the other three elements once again being no help in the slightest. And once again, all statuses work pretty well against it, except for sleep, despite the fact it doesn't produce sleep gas anymore, with blast still being the most effective. And just like before, all blights will work well, with fire blight being the most effective. Also, its head and neck are the best targets to attack, as the rest of its body is a bit more resilient. And while all weapon types will work, blunt weaponry edges ahead of the others by a small but noticeable margin. And just like the original, the Aurora Somnacanth armor is absolutely gorgeous. Long and flowing robe-like articles and a stylish hood and tiara, but also with some armor plating to give off a very mystical, sage-like appearance. The weapons are pretty much the same, just in different colors, but those are incredible colors that give the weapons an absolutely striking appearance. But unfortunately, I guess someone figured there was no need to make companion armor from the Aurora Somnacanth, since they already have it for the normal one. lazy. And so that is the Aurora Somnacanth, a cool counterpart to the original that uses ice in a shocking and unique way no one would likely see coming. And with that, we've reached the end of what we know of both Leviathans. They are certainly strange, but unlike anything else we've seen that gives them an interesting charm to them. And while their aggression is concerning, they aren't nearly as big of a threat as a lot of other monsters out there. And also, that aggression can be useful for driving off other monsters that could prove to be a threat. Ultimately, as long as they are left alone, we don't have much to worry about from them. Just keep yourself at a safe distance and enjoy their song from afar. Otherwise, that song may be the thing that puts you to sleep for good. So, there you have it, ladies and swordsmen. That is my take on Somnacanth. It is really unique and interesting. I love its design, the slender, streamlined look to it, the mermaid kind of appearance, its face looks strangely human. It's a little disturbing, but also, again, very unique, which gives it a little charm to it. And it's also nice to see another sleep monster, and it does it in a really unique way. And it's actually, a decent challenge compared to a lot of other sleep monsters out there, I think. With just how far its sleep beams can reach and the AoEs it does, it's really impressive. Also, I like how it uses the shells to crack open like an otter. Is super cute and, again, very unique. I really like how Rise gave us a lot of monsters that use tools. Very innovative and very interesting. I hope we see more of that in the future. And also, I like how it shoots its quills. Just everything about it is so unique and unlike anything we've seen before, that just makes it hold a special place in my heart. And Aurora Somnacanth is much of the same. I like its appearance, I like its coloring better than original Somnacanth actually, even though I think I like original Somnacanth's armor a bit more, and just how it uses its icy mist in such a different way than anything else. Again, leaving all the clouds all over the place, and then the big explosions of it later. Very cool, very unique, very amazing. I just love it. And so next time, I believe we will be moving on to Rise's big bad, Geismagorm, the originator of the Curios. Oh man, he is gonna be something to talk about. I know we only get a short bit of him, not a whole lot of build up to him, but the times that he is on screen is very impactful. The fact that he is where the Curios spawn from, so he is the reason for everything that happened in Sunbreak, already gives him such a big role, a lot bigger than a lot of other final bosses, and makes you see just how dangerous he is, because I've already went into great detail about how much of a threat the Curio are, and yeah, he's the whole reason that we've had to deal with them in the first place. And just everything he does is so cool, absorbing them and all the big fiery things he can do, or the blood beams, creating all the miniature suns all over the place, or the giant explosions. Absolutely incredible, mind-boggling, and the appearance is really cool. The vibe he gives off for being a subterranean monster is really unique. The giant star mouth he has, it's unnerving but also really cool. And just how durable he is. Like, we've seen him tank Dragonators being launched into him that then explode, and he shrugs it off like nothing. Oh, just so unique, so cool, and I love his armor, but that is the one detracting factor, the fact that the armor slowly drains your health in combat. I don't like that, but everything else about him is just really cool, and I can't wait to go more in depth about him. But for now, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this, want to see more, go ahead and slash that subscribe button. If you like this video, give a quick cut to the like button. Leave a comment down below. Share it around with all your friends. Be sure to click the notification bell so you never miss it when I upload a video. And be sure to follow me on Twitter. Then I'll see you in the next video. But until then, ladies and swordsmen, stay sharp.